just that weighty introduction that he deserves.
All right, many thanks, Ashley. Definitely, it is a surprise guest. He came into the limelight when he was elected as Elgeyo-Marakwet County on March 4th, 2013. Not just that, he was re-elected on August 8th, 2017. I'm talking about Governor Alex Tolgos. Many thanks for making time. Welcome to the Friday briefing.
Thank you so much.
I can see blessings are coming with the Mursik as well.
Yeah, we really thank the Standard Group.
Yes.
You've come, the whole team from Nairobi, and we're happy that now we can see the rains.
Definitely. I'm sure the maize farmers are smiling.
They must be smiling.
Definitely. So let's start with some recent news that emerged on social media. There was word that you had resigned, and I'm sure that is an allegation you can definitely deny right now. Tell us what transpired.
Thank you so much. I think, first of all, I want to say that that was a fake letter, which we are still trying to ascertain the order of that letter.
Okay.
But I think some few weeks ago, I made a pronouncement that maybe made some people think that Governor Tolgos is resigning anytime soon. You know, at the moment, when you look at the CRA allocation to counties, Elgeyo-Marakwet and other counties are struggling, let's say, about the bottom 5 counties. And looking at the projections, because when we started in 2013, we had, of course, a lot of problems, but these problems have been adding up. And at the moment, when you look at our budget, we were telling CRA that by 2022,
yes,
if that formula will not be changed, Elgeyo-Marakwet will not be able to meet the current BFM requirements of 30% to development.
Yeah.
And I think out of that statement that because if we are not able to meet the requirements of the law, then it means that the county will have to be taken back to national government.
Definitely.
So I think, and we went to CRA, we've gone to Senate with our memoranda, explained all the challenges that we are facing in Elgeyo-Marakwet. Of course, some of the challenges, like the CBS, signed at a national level.
Yeah.
You know, when they are signed there, they don't know the impact on the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah. Again, there are so many other challenges that we are facing. For example, Elgeyo-Marakwet is an hardship county. So it means that in terms of wage bill, we have an additional amount that is required on top of what other counties are paying because of the hardship.
Yes.
So I think out of that statement, somebody just thought that maybe
they should try.
They should try, but of course those are politics.
It's politics, and we totally understand that.
And as a politician, once you accept to join politics, you should be ready for anything.
Well, that's very important. Yeah. Speaking of being ready for anything, yes, there are challenges, a myriad of challenges that come up, especially in a position of leadership, not just in your first term, but second term. Let's reflect on some of the achievements you're proud of as governor, not just in your first term when you were elected on March 4th, 2013, but also crossing to after August 8th, 2017.
Thank you so much. I think when you look at the where we started as Elgeyo-Marakwet County, of course, being among the least funded counties, I want to say that we've done a lot from 2013. And a good example is roads. When we came in, every time when you open social media, it was this road has not been done, this road is impossible. But I'm happy to report that at the moment, the only thing that people of Elgeyo-Marakwet ask is, when are we getting a tarmac in this road? But in terms of traveling and opening new roads, we've really done a lot.
Yes.
The other area is health. Most of our facilities, when we came in, they were not functional. And at the moment, I think Iten County Referral Hospital is one of the best facilities around. So in terms of health, and if you go around and talk to Elgeyo-Marakwet people, they will tell you that they have the best facilities in terms of personnel, in terms of drugs which are available to those facilities, despite the resource challenge.
Yes.
In terms of agriculture, I think you saw the report that came out yesterday. Elgeyo-Marakwet was ranked the second in all the 47 counties in terms of productivity. And I must really appreciate the people of Elgeyo-Marakwet. I have a very hard-working community in my county. And that's why sometimes where the government is not able to do some things, the people are always available to do it for themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're firmly behind the governor. That's the message we're getting. Now, let's break it down a little bit less serious. Tell us about Iten, because we know it as the home of champions, and perhaps is Mursik the secret to the success behind the athletes?
I think Iten has been a growing town.
Yeah.
And remember the other day when we dedicated one of the roads to one brother Colm, who is the pioneer coach of athletes in Iten. He was telling us that when he came to Kenya in the 70s, nobody knew about Iten. And he was telling us that whenever they were sent letters from Ireland, they always landed in Litein in Kericho County.
Yes.
But at the moment, I'm sure most of the letters addressed to Litein will find their way to Iten.
Exactly.
And we must appreciate the athletes. They are the ones who have made Elgeyo-Marakwet and Iten known. And when you go to Iten, I think comparing the name and the town itself, it doesn't match.
Yes.
And that's why as county government, we are putting a lot of efforts to make Iten a more modern town. And at the moment, we want to really appreciate the World Bank under the Kenyan Urban Support Program. They've given us money. Iten now is a registered municipality. And we are now working on beautification of the town.
All right.
Trying to improve the infrastructure, trying to create even more areas where people can come and relax within Iten. Iten is very, some places famous in Iten are like the Iten viewpoint, which at the moment the areas which are used as dumping sites for our waste.
Okay.
But we have plans. Soon, maybe in the next 2-3 months, you will find Iten a different town than what you know about it today.
Well, that's very amazing. Yeah. I'll make sure before I leave Eldoret, I make sure I pass by it and take a look at the beauty and the culture of that particular place. Let's break it down. Yes, you're in politics right now and you're doing a commendable job according to the track record. But before politics, who were you? Were you an athlete perhaps? Have you ever been an athlete?
Okay, way back in high school,
I
was a sportsman.
Yes.
I used to run, but later on I realized I developed a lot of interest in hockey and lawn tennis, so I diverted away from athletics.
Exactly.
And of course I schooled in the famous St. Patrick's Iten, and that's where most of the athletes have gone through. But later on I went to the University of Nairobi, did engineering, mechanical engineering, shortly worked in the petroleum industry. Later on, went to private sector, did business, both in Iten and other towns. And of course, in politics, I started politics in 2007.
In 2007.
Immediately after college, I tried my luck in Marakwet West parliamentary seat, and at that time things were tough. But in 2013, after doing a lot of groundwork, I managed to capture the governor seat.
Well, that's amazing. Congratulations once again. Allow us to cross over to Jackson Mandago, Uasin Gishu County Governor. Many thanks for making time. Karibu sana. Chamge. Tulikuwa tunaongea na governor hapa, just taking a look at the track record.
Maybe first you need to tell him his acting position has lapsed.
Perhaps, yes. But let's take a look at, you're both serving your second tenures as governors. So let's take a look at your achievements and what you're mostly proud of as being the governor of this great county of Uasin Gishu.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to say that KTN, welcome to Eldris.
Thank you.
Live from Eldris.
Yes.
The city of champions. And as a county, me and my colleague here being second-term young governors, one of the things as a county we are proud is the infrastructure. We've been able to restore accessibility, both in urban and in rural areas. Secondly, as a county, we were able to impact on a program to empower young people with skills. And in our first term of office as county government of Uasin Gishu, we were able to sponsor 1,800 young men and women to pursue technical courses in our Rift Valley Technical Training Institute. That, in a way, has bridged the skill gap that we need in this city and the county.
Okay.
And it is now value adding to the national government's Big Four agenda in terms of provision of skills for manufacturing and even for affordable housing. And secondly, of course, on healthcare. On healthcare, we've been able to first make sure that our facilities are well stocked with drugs. We were able to increase our personnel in our facilities, and we've also been able to improve the infrastructure in those facilities.
We were chatting with Governor about the nurses issue. Perhaps you can touch on that. How is Uasin Gishu County in terms of the nurses strike?
Well, our nurses are on duty. But of course, they have served us with a notice. But I would say our nurses are law-abiding. So following the court order, they are back on duty. But we just want to really make it known to the public that it is not that we have money and we are refusing to pay. This is a matter that we had a discussion with national government, and it was agreed that resources will be added to counties to be able to meet those bills. So if there are no additional resources coming, then it is going to be extremely very difficult for county governments to increase salary.
Yeah.
And that is just one cadre of staff in health. We have clinical officers, we have doctors, we have physiotherapists, we have ambulance drivers, we have so many other cadres that if we had to effect a salary increase, there will be a replica of demands from all the other cadres. And that's just one department. How about the other public servants?
I get you.
So really, one of the things we should do as public servant, and as a nation also, is we have to learn to live within our means. We have a limitation of resources. We have to live with the limited resources that we have.
All right. Well, that's very true. Looking forward, 2022 is fast approaching, and your term as governors, is also almost done. Let's take a look at perhaps what you plan to achieve as the governor of Uasin Gishu County in the remaining time you have at the helm right now. We're talking about developments that were not there. We've talked about what you've done in the health department, very commendable, and what you've done for the young men and women who are aspiring to grow their careers, giving them an opportunity. What else do you aspire to do as 2022 approaches?
Well, in my campaigns in 2017, I made sure that I reduced my menu so that I'm able to complete before I leave office. But I think one of the things that we wanted to impact on is in the rural areas, we have had a problem of clean water. And one of our major programs as county government is to make sure that we have water in our rural parts of the county. And we have embarked on a serious program of desilting our dams, and then, of course, distributing that water. Secondly, we want to do irrigation in areas where we have sufficient water in our dams. As a county that largely depends on agriculture as the mainstay in terms of the economy, we also feel that it is time we also begin growing high-value crops that has high income to the households in the county. The population of this county is increasing. There's a lot of subdivision of land, so you no longer find, we still have some tracts of land, yes, but you find a majority of the farmers are beginning to become small-scale farmers because of the population pressure. With the small farms, we would want to go for high-value crops, and that's why we need to water in the rural part of the county for domestic use, but also for irrigation and for horticulture.
Exactly.
The other program that we really want to embark on seriously is value addition of what we produce. As a county government, you realize that we are the leading county in terms of the maize crisis, and we are now on another fertilizer crisis. As county government, we've said we are not going to just sit down and watch. We have embarked on a program where we are putting together our cooperatives. For every 2 sub-counties, we want to help our farmers through our enterprise development fund, advance a loan to the cooperative union for them to be able to establish their own milling plant and be able to add value to what they produce. So we have an intention of establishing at least three milling plants. But in our program of implementation, we shall start with 1, and in the other 2 sub-counties, we want to do silos, dryers, and weigh bridges, so that farmers can be able to take their produce there, reduce on post-harvest losses. Those are the key things that we really want to focus. And of course, also the question of technical education. If this country has to industrialize, if we are talking of manufacturing, if we are talking of affordable housing, then we must have local skills. And our strategy is to retain as much of the resources we borrow as a nation within this country. We don't want a situation where 15 years down the line, we still get loans from other countries, but then we also get contractors from those countries.
Definitely. We should be self-sufficient.
So we want money to remain here to spur the economy of this country.
Okay, allow me to cut you short. Let's go from the city of champions to the home of champions now. As we conclude in 1 minute shortly, because I can see the blessings are coming from above, what do you think is the future of devolution as we sit? From the enactment of the Constitution in 2010, it has been a long journey. We've seen the current crisis we have in the health sector, and it is a challenge for devolution, especially from a governor's perspective. So what do you think is the future of devolution?
I think I want to say that the people of this country are fully embraced devolution. And if, even as we talk about maybe a referendum which is coming, anything that will try to take away counties from the citizens of this country will not see the light at the end of the day. And we know we have challenges, like you've talked about health. I think the challenge is where we started from in 2013. I wish we could have a discussion, both the national and county government, before even we started implementing devolution. Because now, when you look at even the working relationship between the national government and county government, it's now that we are realizing that we need to work together. And when you saw the statement from the president trying to support counties that nurses should go back to their work and discharge services to the people of this country. Those are statements that we think that as county governments we need we have the full support of the president and the deputy president. So to me, I think first of all the goodwill of the leaders is there, and again the kind of information and even sensitization that we've done to the people of this country. They are now able to make a lot of decisions on their own. In fact, what is now, what will come out next is people are used to, or they've known how to make budgets for county governments. Now they would want to be even involved further in formulating the budgets for the national government.
That's very true. The symbiosis is very important between the national and county government. Mandago, your take on the future of devolution?
Devolution is the way to go. And I would like Kenyans to understand that this theory that devolution is expensive is just a myth. Our current budget as a nation is 1.3 trillion. The money being allocated to counties is just a paltry 300 billion. There is a lot of microscope screening of the 300 billion as opposed to the 1 trillion that is remaining in national government. I will tell you today, even if you are to rank counties from number 1 to 47, even the 47 county will have done something national government will not have done it even if we gave them another 50 years. And I will give you an example. This town is a very fast-growing town. Since independence, before devolution, we had only 2 bridges to cross into the CBD of this town. Only 2. One in the CBD and one in Sukunanga on your way to Nairobi. From independence. It has taken us less than 5 years under devolution to establish 6 additional bridges along the river in this town. Kenyans should support devolution. We agree as governors, as county governments, we have our fair share of problems and challenges in running devolution. But if you give devolution time to mature, 15, 20 years, you will see the serious effects and the fruits of devolution.
All right.
I was in Samburu last weekend for the cross-country championship. Samburu County, that I knew when I was a public servant, is not Samburu County that we know today under devolution. It's completely changed.
It has
the
transformed.
Infrastructure around that Marala town,
Okay.
you cannot compare with what was there before devolution.
Okay.
So really, Kenyans must support devolution. And I want to give you a hint. We as governors, we are waiting for the referendum. We are not interested in the other questions or positions and so forth. We are interested in how are we going to strengthen devolution. We want devolution from county headquarters to the sub-county to the ward level.
Okay.
And even where possible to the village level. The discussion we will be happening is how do we take IFMIS to the ward so that we can have some procurement happening at the ward. The more you devolve, the more you spread the wealth of this country.
All right, even as you mentioned, you're waiting for the referendum. There has been talk of term limits. Do you think that should be touched in this particular referendum? Should it stick as it is for governors specifically, serving a maximum of 2 5-year terms?
I'll tell you my take as a person. Really, if you've been given 10 years, if you've never made a difference, even if we give you another 10, it will just be the same story.
All right.
And I think the problem that we are facing as Africans is this business of trying to remain in power for far too much long. And I want to tell you one so that I know we are,
as we conclude.
Yes. The reason why we have to change every 10 years, after every 10 years, there is a technological shift.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I was an IT person.
Okay.
Today, I cannot claim to be an IT guru because the rate of technology, the change, is so fast that after every 10 years, we need to get people who are still at the pace.
Exactly.
They can keep up with the pace of technology. So I would tell my colleagues, I'm not for the idea of regional governments. 10 years is enough for a governor.
All right.
Watu kama sisi na wengine tuende to strengthen devolution, mahali kama Senate, mahali kama chairman ya devolution kwa na ile bas. That is the story.
Asante sana. Governor Jackson Mandago, and we also have Elgeyo-Marakwet Governor Alex Tolgos for making time, and I'm sure the main issue of devolution, that is breaking down services all the way down to the common mwananchi, is achievable. Many thanks. All right, that was a very interesting interview right there, and Ashley Mazuri was in the background. I am sure you got to learn a little bit more about the home of